Here you are sitting there wondering. You just graduated college. You're like, I'm about to get to this money. But you have no idea what you're doing at all. My name is Rashad. I'm 27 years old. I come to give what little information that I had that I learned through, my life through going through high school and college and where I'm at right now. And I will tell you this. Once you graduate college, depending where you're at, that is probably the most depressing time ever. It is so depressing. You literally sit there, you promise all that stuff early on. You'll get out making this, and that, and you apply, and then you don't get any job offers. You don't have any experience, but you got a degree that you sat there and took out loans for to get. It's so depressing. When I got out of college, I was making $8.03 working at a basically like a buffet place. My life was miserable. I didn't want to live to 25. If I had to do that till 25, I was out. I was out. That's just what I came to my mind. Like I wanted somebody to just take me out. Like every single day was hell. Had to walk there. I'm flat footed, so I get plantar fasciitis from wearing those stupid shoes every single day. Just going in there to get a paycheck that was $200 something every 2 weeks. The crappiest paycheck I've had. It was just terrible. So I could pay for my apartment and all that. It was miserable. I got my first job. I had to go through a temp agency. I was talking to my mom. I kid you not. Talking to my mom. She's like, you need to apply more. At this point, I was going through something with the female. Everything about me was just demoralized. I just felt like this is my karma for how I was in the past. That's what I felt. And literally, as I'm talking to my mom, I promise you, it sounds like some movie crap. I get a call. Hey, this is Randstad. Calling about a job. We have a place for you. I can't tell you the place, but you'll be making $12 an hour. I'm like, when can I start? They're like, oh, it's in a couple weeks. Cool. Putting in my resume. Or putting in my 2 weeks. I left. Started working at the temp agency. Started doing that. Realized I'm doing the same thing over and over, right? But I didn't care because I was making $12 an hour. I'm happy, and I was getting paid every week. So I'm doing that, and as I'm doing that, I'm like, you know what? $12 an hour isn't enough. It still isn't enough. This just sounds good, right? But I'm still buying stuff. So I end up they was gonna get rid of me because I was there watching Naruto and all that. I ain't take that job serious. They had me freaking stapling paper like some basic peon work. It was so garbage. It was so pointless. It was basically like I was one of the most pointless people. So the last day they're like, you don't have to staple this. I'm like, I don't. Oh, I must be getting a different thing to do. The next day, what happens? I get a text message. They talking about your contract has been terminated, but don't worry about it. We're gonna find you some other jobs. I had just made my laptop payment, so now I'm broke. I'm broke. And my homie, he looked out. Chris, appreciate you. He looked out and he was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Just give me back when you can. That's a good friend. My fault. Sorry. It is the next day. Actually, I think it's like the next 2 days. I realized I didn't get to finish the video as far as determining, what it's like once you get out of college. I'm going to tell you this. Don't go in with high expectations. All right. Don't go in. You should always value yourself. Trust me. But if you go in with too high expectations, because you gotta remember, a lot of people have access to college now. With financial aid, you're able to get in. Not everybody can, but it's a lot easier. So they're more so looking at it as like, do you have any experience? Have you done any work? So when you get out, it's basically just like you're just thrown there with everybody else. Like they college hype you up to make it seem like you were this important person. Then you get out and then it's like, oh no, you're a regular person. I will tell you this, all right? If you are in college, make sure you network. I did not understand this. I'm sitting around just getting drunk, being stupid, not understanding what they really mean by networking. The key is to meet up with people. Find out, backgrounds and all that. Don't be afraid to sit there and ask. I swear, like And it seems like it's more common among, the African American community, where it's like, dang, they all up in your business. Don't be afraid to ask. Find out what people do, like what their parents do, blah blah blah. You'll find a lot of Caucasian people don't care. That's how they get more money. It's like, what do you do? Oh, well, for instance, I just overheard a couple people. One of them was like, hey, I do contracting work, and one of them was accountant, and they're sitting there speaking, and he's just like, you know what? Nah, you can run through my business. It'll be cheaper if you do it that way. I can help you out. They're already friends, but they just had this conversation, and now next thing you know, whenever they're doing business, real estate wise, they're going to keep going to each other, keep getting money. Do not be afraid to sit there and speak to people and find out, pick them apart, find out what they can do. That's networking. Not sitting around reading a stupid book that you try to sell at the end of the year and it's only worth a couple dollars. It's not worth nothing. All right? That's where they will trick you. That's the one thing you need to do in college. I wish I would have did that. I'm sitting there making 803, miserable, trying to get a job, trying to go through a temp agency. But say time has passed in college, you're not there anymore. Go through a temp agency. Get your foot in the door. All right? You get paid every week with a temp agency. And a lot of them end up getting you places where you'll work 40 hours. All right? You work 40 hours, you do that. Now you can put in your resume, oh, I did that you were working there. You don't have to say that you're officially temp. You can say that you've done work for the company and really elaborate on your resume. That's your foot in the door. That's your, what is it? I was going to say ace in the hole. Is it the ace? Yeah. That's your ace in the hole right there. You're able to sit there and now you have that experience on it. That's what I did that got me into the banking because they dropped me. The original place I was working for with my temp, they dropped me. Like, you just feel useless at it. Like, where I was at, it was so useless. It felt useless. I'm going to have a video on why I don't like office jobs. But after that, I ended up, interviewing for a bank. And it was basically like a call center. But where I was at wasn't a call center. Like, what I had to do, it didn't involve calling. I did that. And a woman seen potential in me. And she believed in me. Not even lying. Not joking. She seen potential in me. She could be 100% honest with me. And she was like, you know what? After a little while, me being there explaining what I want to do, she's like, you know what, this isn't for you. You don't have no kids. Like, I see you doing great things, Xavier. That's my real name for people that don't know. She's like, I see you doing great things, Xavier. And that motivated me so much because I was like, you know what, I just want to do this and get out of here. I want to try and be my own entrepreneur. But also, if you can, figure out your own trait or your own skill that you want to do. Don't work under somebody because let me tell you something. Let me tell you this, right? $15, I know $15 an hour for people that are, fresh out of college. You're like, oh, that's a lot of money. It's not at all. Because think about this. Where I live at, Roanoke, Virginia, right? To get a semi-decent house, like a really good house, that's $1,300. Now, at $15 an hour, if you're including your health insurance, all that, blah, 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 you end up making roughly around probably $1,700 a month. A little bit more than that. $1,700, right? Now, it's $1,300 some dollars for a good crib, for an amazing crib, right? You're not factoring in your cable. You're not factoring in your internet. You're not factoring in your phone bill. You're not factoring in if you have a car payment. You're not factoring in your utilities. So what have you really made? You made enough just to scratch by. Just to get by on the surface. You didn't make much at all if you really break it down. And then as you get closer towards the $20 an hour, right? Ooh, that's when the tax bracket switches. They hit you heavier. So you might be in a higher tax bracket, but the problem is you're at the low end of the high tax bracket. So they really eat into you. They rip you apart. They will tear you apart. I know someone that made, 22? And they were only making a couple, if that, maybe like 200 more than me? 200, maybe some change a little bit. Like, as you get to the higher tax bracket, they eat you apart. They will rip you apart. But guess what? If you got your own skill, I'm not saying that you shouldn't write everything on your taxes, but it's not documented. A lot of places are like that. A lot of big time companies, you know how many stuff goes under the radar that isn't put on there for the, that there's certain stuff they can do where it'll hide it. Like, it's like, we don't got to claim this on our taxes. And there's stuff they want to put on taxes so that they get less in tax expense. So if you're going to sit there and go the college route, make sure that you network. And if you are, it's after college for you and you're sitting there, you're like, I have no idea what I do. I'm scared, which a lot of people are. Let's be real. That was a rough time for me. Like, it's scary. And my friend told me, man, like, he had graduated 2 years before me. He was like, man, you gonna be depressed. I'm like, depressed? How? That's where you get to the money. And sure enough, boom, he was right. He was 100% right on it. But you'll be good. You just got to get that foot in the door, and you just got to sit there and figure out what you really like doing. Don't end up in an office job. I encourage you, don't end up working for somebody in the office. You better than that. All right? With that being said, if you want to hear more stuff like this, let me know in the comment section below. Give me some of your ideas of things that you would like to hear about that I can sit there and share if I've experienced it. Because I don't talk about it if I don't know it. Say Rashad out.